Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have more updates here. We've got a big drop from Fox News, four key polls. I want to make it very clear this is key when it comes to Fox News and how their polling is done. And you can see the Trump war room, they're calling it out based off of, you look back at 2020 in August and 2016, Fox has been very off and underestimated Trump significantly in both 2020 and 2016 in the key swing states. And we've got four more swing state polls that are all very close. This is great news for Trump. And we're starting to see a lot of the models have to adjust themselves based off of how Trump was underestimated in 2020 and 2016. And now with the race 50-50, which is what basically the polls say. When you talk to liberals, they'll say they're winning by a point or two. Not that it matters. I did a video earlier today talking about how the electoral college works. If Harris wins by 3 points, Trump could easily win. I would say he's probably got a better than 50% chance to win the electoral college, even if she wins the popular vote by 3 points. But look at this. Trump and Vance, a statement. Fox is bad. Polling history. If you're a casual person, you would think, well, Fox, they're going to put out propaganda polls that are pro-Trump. If it's CNN, they're going to put out propaganda polls that are pro Harris. It's really not how it works in terms of polling. And we're seeing it's not just Fox, it's a lot of them, about 80% of them. If you look at the Real Clear Politics polling grades, if they're pro Democrat, pro Republican, where they overestimate either one, about 85 to 90% of the pollsters overestimate the Democrats, especially in 2016 and 2020 during the general election. It's Trump supporters. They're very hard to poll, especially when you get into the rural areas. That's why the Wisconsin polls have been so off by about 6 or 7 points, meaning if Trump is losing by two or three in Wisconsin, it's very, very good news. He's extremely likely to win the state. And you can see the recent Fox polls, we got four big swing states. They're all within a point to 2 points. This is great news for Trump. Again, guys, you see a general election poll that has Trump down by two. That's amazing because normally Trump overperforms the polls anyway, so he's probably really tied. And then if he's tied based on the electoral college, he's very likely getting around. If the popular vote is within like a half point, he gets like 310 electoral votes, 306, something like that, and wins the election easily. That's just how it is. This is also coming. You can see this was the original polls. Georgia Harris +2, Nevada Harris +2, Arizona Harris +2. It had, I think, North Carolina as well, Trump +1, if I remember properly. But you do have all the key issues. Trump blowing Harris out of the water. Immigration. I'm shocked it's only +16. She's copying him literally with the border wall. Should be +30 for Trump, but it's still +16. Economy, Trump +8, should be +15 with how horrible the inflation is right now. This is her and Biden. We've also got the Politico thing where Politico comes out and says, how dare they? The Trump administration is trying to draw, Harris to Biden and put them together and tether them, I think is what they said. Well, yeah, that's what it is. It's Harris Biden, Biden Harris. That's their administration. She's the vice president. I mean, you look at the signs, it's Biden Harris. I mean, this is ridiculous. The war, any war, Trump should be plus 50 over the Democrats. They don't want any solution. They don't want to talk to North Korea. They don't want peace. They don't want to talk to Russia. They'd rather act like 4-year-olds and keep sending money to Ukraine. So Trump's even +8 in terms of the war, and that's the Israel-Hamas war, which you would think would be a little bit less favorable. Well, actually, maybe a little bit more favorable because the Democrats really cannot win with that issue either way. You've got healthcare and abortion. They're lower tier topics. The big stuff, this is the stuff that's really going to affect a lot of people. It is immigration and it is the economy. And so Trump is up huge in those. That's the important stuff. That's key. If you're up by 16-8, you're not going to lose the election. Now, obviously, that's going to change over the next few months. It's not going to stay that exact same. But the idea that Trump would lose the immigration topic at this point, he's got a death grip around it. She's had to copy him now on the border wall after they called it racist. This is really huge seismic stuff. And this is why I've given Trump, if I want to be conservative, around an 85 to 90% chance to win this election. That's a very conservative estimate. But let's get to Nate Silver. I think Silver's starting to realize the jig is up with Harris. It's not happening this year. And Silver's starting to adjust his model. And I think he's starting to weigh it properly in terms of, oh, wait, the polls always seem to underestimate Trump. You can see he's starting to bring it back. And it wouldn't surprise me if in Silver's model, if Trump went ahead very soon, not only in the just overall chances to win, which would be the electoral votes, but also in the popular vote as well. Just because The writing is on the wall with Harris. She's doing her first sit down. I mean, I said it several times how ridiculous it is. She did not win a primary. She did not debate at all. You would think she would be more than eager to do all the one-on-ones with every network to try and prove herself to the American people. But it's not happening. And now she is finally going to sit down, but it's with Walz. Walz has to be there. It's like pulling teeth with these people. It's the same thing with the debate. With Biden, Trump has to debate him in June. He has to have all these things. It's got to be the muted mics. Now with Harris, she doesn't want the mics muted. She doesn't want to go on Fox News. She only wants to do 2 debates, not 3. Trump offers 3. Everything is pampered for them. But I think Silver's starting to realize that the jig is up here. She's not going to win. And Silver, you're going to have to adjust your model. I would put Trump on a 60% chance. I mean, you could say, well, based off the polls, and again, if she's up by 1 or 2 in the polls, that's really good news for Trump. If you weigh it properly based off of how much Trump has been underestimated in 2020 and 2016. Now, it is very hard to do that because you don't know. Maybe the polls are more accurate in 2024. It's not an exact science, but you do have to understand if Trump was significantly underestimated in 2016, you could argue he was even more underestimated in the general popular vote in 2020. The swing states in 2016, it was ridiculous. I mean, in 2020, you did have Quinnipiac polls come out with Biden leading Florida by 10 points a week before the election. I mean, these are real numbers, and people are falling for it again. And it's like, oh my God, Biden's only trailing Florida by 4. He's going to lose it by 9 to 10. I mean, what are we even talking about here? It's a waste of time in many of these states. So, I think you're going to start seeing Trump go ahead in many of these models. These people want to get it right, and they know that Trump's going to win this election. It'd be shocking if he didn't. We've also got the Senate update. This is a Real Clear Politics tweet. Yeah, I don't really agree with this. I think they'll get 52, maybe 53. Moreno's going to win Ohio. See, as long as Trump wins Ohio by around 9 to 10, which should happen, Moreno's going to get dragged over. He'll win it by about 3 over Brown. There's not going to be that much split ticket voting. So I think the Republicans will at least get 52 in terms of Senate seats, maybe 53. Arizona's kind of looking bad. I think Trump would have to win Arizona by 5 to carry Lake over. Carry Lake, but no, like seriously, he would have to win it by 5 to get her to the finish line. Maybe she wins it by 1. There's been some really bad polls with her recently. There was a poll that had her down by 16 today. Obviously, I don't think that's realistic, but still, Nevada it's probably not happening. Really, any of these other states, I would say 52, maybe 53. They're going to take back Montana. Trump made a trip out to Montana, and he basically locked it in for Sheehy. You've got him up by like 7 or 8 over Tester now in several polls. You've got West Virginia, which is going to be another pickup for the Republicans. So 52 to 53, you'll take that. Right now, I think they've got like a 72% chance to win the Senate, according to Polymarket as well. You've got breaking Supreme Court ruling against Biden. His plan to unilaterally use tax dollars to cancel the student loan debt. And of course, that is very good news. We do like that. We've also got this update on Biden, who's been on vacation. Let me just go over what's happened with Biden here over the past 2 weeks. So on last Monday, Biden gives his speech, and it's just funny that, I mean, this is the sitting president of the party the Democratic Party. That's where the convention is. They give him the worst day, which is Monday, the first day, and then he hightails it out of there on Monday night. He doesn't even stay for the night. So he leaves Monday night, goes to California. He's 6 days on a vacation in California. Then he takes a plane from California to Delaware, and now he's on another 7-day vacation. And so what I think happened is once it became known and they threatened Biden, and Nancy Pelosi said, easy way or the hard way, you need to get out of here, old man, you're ruining it. And so he decided to step down. They put out that weird letter, there was no actual statement from Biden himself until like 3 days later. I think they just told him, we don't care anymore. We're going to stop the fake facade that you're actually doing anything. You're not doing anything, old man. Just step out of the way. It's Kamala's time. It's the brat summer. But now even Kamala, I mean, this is what I'm saying. These people are not fit for this job. Even Kamala, they're like, she needs to take the weekend off because, she spoke on Thursday night. Apparently she was like, she locked herself in her hotel room. She was practicing on Wednesday. She was like cramming for her speech. She's really nasty to everyone, her entire team. She's gone through several different, advisors around her. They all say she's terrible. There's going to be a book about it, apparently, with her and Biden and just horrible relationships. I mean, Biden's really nasty to people as well. They're just not good people. So there's going to be a book that comes out. It's going to be a huge October surprise. Maybe it gets leaked in late September. But this approval rating, this is the crazy thing. Remember when they tried to say Biden was a better president than Trump and that Biden was the best president we've seen, in the last 30 years? Well, this is how bad it is for Biden. Biden's approval rating went up. Democrats started to approve of him more when he dropped out. That's how bad he is because they knew he was going to lose. So he says, "Okay, I'm going to drop out." And then they say, "Oh, now we like you. Thank you for dropping out. You're so bad. You're not going to beat Trump. But because you're dropping out, because you're so horrible, we're gonna approve of your job now." And so it raised his. I'm not even kidding you. Look it up. Like his approval rating was at 37%. Now it's at 41%, and it's stagnated. It can't get any higher. It's impossible. He's not doing like the guy is just. It's like the old folks convention. I mean, there's just he's laying on a beach. It's like he's retired. So it's impossible for his approval rating to go up, and they don't care. They do not care anymore about Biden. They don't care how bad it looks. They're just like, just get out of here. You're not doing anything. You haven't been doing anything, and now we don't even have to fake it because you're not running for re-election, and we don't need you. So that's really what's going on in terms of that. We've also got this. You know what? Where's the one thing that I wanted to go to? Here it is. This is an amazing tweet. Proof of citizenship voting bill push could threaten government shutdown. And so it's like we're going in the same circle we always do. I don't understand. You've got Democrats, they'll gaslight, they'll say no, illegals are not voting. So this is a great, great potential bill that could shut conservatives up and take away all of our excuses. If this gets passed, if this act gets passed, what would the excuses be? This is a conservative thing that they're trying to pass to make sure only citizens with legitimate ID vote in national elections. That's all this is trying to do. And they will not pass it to the point where they're threatening a government shutdown. But no. Illegals aren't voting, guys. They're just going to threaten a shutdown. It's very obvious. Listen, I don't even know what the argument is at this point by the liberals to not allow this to pass. The SAVE Act. I have no clue. The SAVE Act prevents illegal immigrants from voting. You've got the little troll face. Non-citizens already can't vote. You dumb MAGA. Then you won't mind if we pass it. And then they call it racist. But I think they've moved on from doing that because remember, Republicans were like, all right, let's make sure everyone has an ID. And then they're like, no, minorities are not smart enough to get IDs. And then they realized that was like, I mean, what are you even talking about? So now they've moved on. And now they're like, no, you can't show IDs because people lose them, and it's like people cut up their IDs. I'm not even. This is what they argue. This is what they are. So this is how dumb it's gotten, and who knows with this stuff. I mean, they're admitting illegals are voting and they need illegals to vote. Why else would you not allow this to pass? If you want Republicans and conservatives to have no excuses if they lose the election, why not allow them to pass the SAVE Act, which would shut them up? Because then it's like, well, we got our own act passed to try and prevent all this illegal voting, but they don't want it passed because they need the illegal vote. Why else? Can a Democrat explain to me why else that would be the case? What is the other reason exactly? Oh, no. It's because your ID might transform into a dragonfly and it might float away. You might not have your ID. That's what I mean. There's like a lady on CNN, like a lady's like arguing, like, well, I mean, the IDs like fly away. They like grow wings. I mean, they're trying to argue that. They're like caterpillars. It's unbelievable. That's what they argue now. They're like IDs fly away. We don't know where they go because they've got no argument. And so this is really what's going on right now. They need the illegals to vote. Why else is this the case? Why not just let it get passed so Republicans have no excuse if they lose the election? Imagine that. But they won't pass it. And then we've also got Politico just trolling everyone, trying to get clicks. Vance says, quote, our corrupt leadership, referencing Harris and Biden. And you can see what Politico says. Vance tries to tether Harris to Biden during Michigan rally. See, it's hard to even respond to this. You can see readers have added context. The headline states J.D. Vance tries to tether Harris to Biden. Harris is currently the vice president to Joe Biden. So I don't even know how to respond to this. It's the most ridiculous thing ever, but they know how unliked this administration is, so they're trying to move Harris away from it and get her untethered, because they're using the word tether. I'll use it, untethered from the Biden administration. And in Politico, I mean, what even, I don't understand. What are you talking about? This is her administration. She's the vice president. What are we talking? You know, it's unbelievable. But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.